But when I look in the preseason, I see something that look pretty decent, and I think they should. You never know what type of factor it makes. So I was intrigued about that, and then I'm always curious every year what team is going to step up. New team, somebody. Seems like we get one every year that we're not expecting. And sometimes through the preseason, try to see if you can see something, but somebody's going to surprise us. I'm just wondering who.
Yeah, that's it. What always amazes me too is when they make that comment. Well, this is a bad draft class.
Yeah.
Or this is a great draft.
Either way.
The reality is they don't know that. And I would even go one further. I always say you have to give a draft class a minimum of 3 years.
Yeah.
Some people say, I think 3 to 5.
Mm-hmm. That's where it's at right there.
I personally think that. I think you really don't know until you act. I like looking at the ones that are 10 years, and then you really get the idea. What happened to the first round picks from 10 years ago? That's where you get the focus. Okay, this guy actually was better. Or, you look at the entire draft class, and then you say, my God, this guy was a 4th rounder, 5th rounder. Look what he did.
But you can analyze.
Right.
That's like their career analyzation. But that 3 to 5 is that where did it finally click? And they were able to produce. They might not have been the greatest, but they were enough to be an adequate quarterback, adequate running back, whatever it is. They were adequate enough to be playing in NFL. And I think 3 to 5 years, you should see that. That 3rd year, I think, is the first year you should evaluate that particular draft. Say where these guys at. Now we'll see who's up there doing something, who's not. And then you still give them a couple more years to see if they develop. Some people develop slower than others. Some guys go for a long time. I mean, I'll use Geno Smith as one.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to a bad organization, first of all.
Well, he went that's the problem.
That hurts. And not getting the coaching that you needed. And then you got revolving, what he had, offensive coordinators, they were revolving. The situation wasn't good for him. But he's stuck in there. And that's where you find out how good a guy is, because it's not just his playing ability, it's mindset. Right. He could have been broken with that situation he was in to just say, well, first of all, it started on draft day when they thought he'd be a 1st rounder, and he was the last guy from the green room to stay there and comes in the 2nd round. So, I mean, he could have been broken in, but he wasn't. And then he goes through the Jets and go through all the different things he went through. And then he had a guy that believed him in Pete Carroll, and takes off.
Yeah, he got into the right
system.
We talk about it all the time. The right situation, right system.
Yep.
Pete Carroll put the right players around him.
Yeah.
Developed a good running game around him, and then had had good
decent quarterback,
right?
Yeah.
And then he got the comfort level there.
Yeah, and that's what happened. I mean, so they just got to evaluate. It's like you said, it's just all of us guessing right now.
Yeah, that's basically all it is. I think,
but I love NFL football, like you said. I just love to watch it.
It's, I mean, we got like college football. We had the high school kicked off last night. You did the Warren Harding Canton McKinley game. Canton McKinley won, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you did the Thursday night game. That was Liberty Campbell. That unfortunately,
that was a blowout.
Was kind of a blowout.
Yeah,
40 to nothing.
Yep.
Liberty shutting out Campbell. So
yep.
But high school football now is always. I always think it's really nothing how good these teams are.
Not in the first week.
Not first week.
I give them at least get into the 3rd week.
You got to give them 3rd, 4th week, and then you kind of get a gauge on how good the teams are.
Yeah. Yep.
And you can almost say that about pretty much all football, but usually you have an idea. College football is a little different just because depending on who the teams play. They if they're playing the easy wins, you know nothing.
Right.
When you're playing the directional schools and you're drilling them 52 to nothing or whatever those scores are, you know nothing about how good that team is. You really don't know until they start to play a top 25 opponent, then you get a gauge. And then once they get into the conference, then you get an idea. But a lot of it too is you look at their history, you usually know how good or bad they are.
Yeah.
So college to me is a little bit more different than high school. High school, you have no idea.
No.
These teams, I mean, you just
you
really don't know with these kids. And the NFL, you just kind of sometimes you never really know there because some of these teams can really surprise you.
Yeah, and somebody is, and I'm just wondering.
And right, you always go back every year, or this year we sit here and we could actually predict, or who do you think is going to be the surprise team this year? Your surprise team. I got the over-unders. We could go look at those. The over-under win total, which always fascinates me, just because. No, I don't bet, but I always think that it's great that you actually sit there and it kind of gives you an idea where do you think the team is going. The team that I think is interesting this year, because I'm hearing a lot of experts really talk, and I'm a Giant fan, and this is the part that amazes me. There's there's LeVar Arrington thinks the Giants are going to be a lot better, but he's not like the only one. There's other analysts that I've been hearing on the radio saying, watch out for this Giant team. The funny part is the Giant, if you're betting, if you so do that, the Giant has their 5.5 win over under.
Yeah.
So, they're predicted pretty much, maybe they get 6 wins. Now they got a very tough schedule.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. That's the thing.
And that
people might not, if they did, let's say they ended 6-11. They saw they stunk. But you got to look at the context of the games. That's what you're going to have to watch and see. Were they in these games and they lost them? Because I'm telling you, they look efficient with Russell Wilson, and they look efficient with Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart,
and even though he might be playing against second string and third, I don't care. No. He still looks efficient to be an NFL quarterback. And Russell Wilson looked like he's rejuvenated. I mean, he really does. He looks different than even when he was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he does.
He just looks like they gave him a comfort level to be able to be Russell. And they going out there and playing. They're being efficient. They're running the ball. The big thing that I noticed in preseason so far, still can't tell, which we don't know. The defense looks good.
Yeah, their defense.
They will get to the quarterback, and you better get the ball out your hand quick. And if they're going to be like that, they could be a problem.
I believe
it's got a great division.
Howard Cross was on a radio show this past week. He played for the Giants, tight end. I believe he has a Super Bowl ring. I've got to look it up. Anyway.
Yeah, I thought he was on that team when they played Denver back.
Yeah, I think he was. I'll look him up. I like Howard Cross, always have. I thought, and he does the sidelines for the Giants, sideline reporter, which I love listening to that telecast on Sirius Satellite Giants when doing it, because it's Bob Papa does play-by-play, and then my favorite color analyst is Carl Banks, because I just like the way he just calls it. He's very he thinks it through, but he's very articulate, and he makes a lot of sense, and he doesn't over talk. Right. Like, he doesn't babble and give you inane. He tells you, he calls it. And I think, can't all those analysts follow his lead? But I like Carl Banks. I really like him. But Howard Cross thinks that the New York Giants, this surprised me, the New York Giants offensive line is really good and going to surprise a lot of people. And because that's been the New York Giant, I have been harping on this for years. The Giant problem has always been, to a large extent, their offensive line or lack of offensive line. They've struggled, and they drafted Saquon Barkley with no line. Ultimately, you see how great Saquon Barkley goes to a team with a line, Eagles, and now you think if Saquon Barkley continues to play like this, he's a Hall of Famer. But the point Howard Cross said is he thought the Giant offensive line is really good. And I was like going, I hope he's right. Because if the Giants do have a good offensive line, and with Russell Wilson, and with Neighbors as the wide receiver, and you've got really pieces together. And the defense, I've been hearing a lot of great things on the Giant defense. It could be a very interesting year for the Giants. Could they exceed the 5.5 wins they're projected to be at over under?
Right.
But again, I know their schedule is really brutal. I'm going to bring this up, talk about a little bit when we get to these over unders. We'll talk about the Giants, but that was I thought it was very interesting that Howard Cross made that as a comment, is how good the offensive line was going to be for the Giants.
Right. Right.
And he would know. I mean, in fact, because he follows the team, he's a sideline reporter. I'm sure he's still in touch with the team and knows, what's going on there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure, and people gotta, fans and everybody around, or people that's against the Giants, they gotta tone it down for that, because he's telling you what he sees from all the camps he's been to.
Yeah.
So he could tell if it's improved or not. Now, you may say when they start playing and say they don't look improved. Well, that might look that way because how much the type of teams they're playing against, what type of defense that is, and how much that defense has improved. If they was going up against the Denver Broncos every week and he might have seen some improvement, it might think, well, I don't know if there's improvement because he's having a lot of problems in this here. But so, you temper it down, but I get what he's saying, because I think so too. It looked like they can run the ball during the preseason. I'm watching Russell, who, even though at his stature, 5'10", 5'11", maybe, he's standing in the pocket. Yeah. And finding he knows how to throw through throwing lanes, so he's standing in there, and that usually doesn't happen in the past for the Giants. That pocket would break down so quick, it wouldn't even be funny. So they're seeing some things that have improved, and I think they have improved a great deal. So that could be a surprise team in a tough division, but you always want to pick the surprise ones, and that's one. Matter of fact, the two teams, they played each other, even though pay no attention to that score, the Giants blew the Patriots out.
Yeah, I saw that.
But both teams, I think, can be dangerous. I even think the New England Patriots are going to be behind with Vrabel at the coaching helm, and the way, the mentality he got that team want to play. I think they can be a problem too.
Their win total is 8.5. I thought that might be a little high for them. 8.5 wins over under for the Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But again, Vrabel's there.
Yeah.
I think you're bringing a different approach. And he's a great coach. So a lot of Patriot fans have a lot of hope this year
about things. Yeah.
The Giants start their season out at Washington, at Dallas, Kansas City home, which is a Sunday night game. The LA Chargers, we like to call San Diego Chargers. And then they have at New Orleans and then Philly. That's their first 6 games. So,
I'm going to start calling. I'm going to try to remember. Instead of saying the LA Chargers, like you just said, I'm just going to start saying the SD Chargers.
SD Chargers.
San Diego. They don't want us to say San Diego. SD Chargers.
Put them back in San Diego.
Man, put them back.
Come on. And put Seattle. Give Seattle a basketball team.
Yeah, quick.
Bring back the Supersonics and put them in Seattle. I love the Supersonics. It's 1979, won an NBA title. I remember that team. It's a good team.
Yep.
Downtown Brown, Freddie Downtown Brown.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great player.
Dennis Johnson. I mean, they had some players back
DJ.
then. Yep.
Oh, yeah. That was a great team back then. Too bad they don't have a team there in Seattle.
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering if they will ever get one. I look at the turnout, and I'll be watching the Seattle Storm, the WNBA.
Yeah, the WNBA
sold out. It's always packed at their games because their fans will come out, and they got a good basketball team. They can, they're going to be in the mix. So it's like, can you imagine if they have an NBA team? Yeah, sad.
Too bad, and then unfortunate. And I think one reason why is because they were there first. When you look at Seattle's sports landscape, their first major league team was the Supersonics.
Yep.
Then the believe it was the Seahawks, and then the Mariners came.
Yep.
I'll look that up. Who came before those? But the point on is but they turned around. They built the stadium for the Mariners, and they built a brand new football for the Seahawks. But they wouldn't build an arena for the Supersonics or the Sonics because I don't know. They just didn't want to. Key Arena had seen better days. And they didn't want to put any money either into the arena or build them a new one. And they were like, we were here first.
Yeah, and I just don't understand.
Why would you do that?
And basically, if you're doing the same draft, the same everything,
right?
That Oklahoma Thunder team that played Miami Heat in the champ would have been the Seattle Supersonics because
yes,
Kevin Durant was a Sonic.
He was a Supersonic
the last
year.
Yep, that was it. After that, and then they went to Oklahoma, and he even said he was saddened because he liked it there, and they would have been in Seattle. And
the Seahawks' first season was 1976.
Yep.
And I believe the Mariners.
Same time.
Yeah, they came in the same year as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep.
Seattle came in. Seahawks and the Buccaneers both came in 76.
Yep.
Buccaneers had those outrageous uniforms.
Yeah, the creamsicle.
That's creamy.
Yeah. They wear them sometime now. And I like it, actually. Like it now.
I like it. They grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still like their coach, John McKay.
Oh, yeah. I always liked John.
He was always a character. What did he say about executing the team? We should be. We didn't execute. Yeah, maybe they should execute us. He had the press laughing.
Yeah.
He had such a great sense of humor.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I think the Mariners came in the year after.
After 77 probably.
Yeah. I think the Mariners were 1977. Yeah, 1977. So they got the Seahawks in 76, the Mariners right after that, 77. They turned around and they built the new arena. They waited. They put they were playing in the King Dome. The Mariners and the Seahawks played in that King Dome.
Right.
And then they leveled the King Dome and they built ballparks for those other teams.
Yeah.
But then they wouldn't do anything for Seattle Supersonics.
Never understood that.
And it's unfortunate, but
and never even had a sniff of a chance of getting another team. Haven't heard nothing on the landscape.
The Supersonics played first year was 67. They were there 10 years, really, before any of those other teams.
Yeah.
From 67 to 2008.
Man, 41 years.
And they would really never build them a stadium. They went around and around and around with this whole thing with them. They played it was really Key Arena. Now it's the Seattle Center, Coliseum Key Arena at Seattle Center. It was like it was sad because they were a very good team.
Yeah.
And a popular team in the NBA.
Yeah.
But coming back a little bit more to this day and age, I knew we go off there, but the Micah Parsons thing is getting to be stupid. And it's beyond stupid. I know we haven't talked a lot about it, but it is, on, and it's like, it's called All My Children. It's like the soap opera of soap operas. It's like, as the Jerry Jones saga turns with Micah Parsons. I mean,
what I don't like is Jerry Jones. See, this is why I left the Cowboys. Listen to his warped thinking.
Yeah.
He's saying, hey, Micah wants more money. He's want all this money. Well, it's your fault because way back when the linebackers was getting, I think, 34 million, whatever, it was low. He didn't even ask for the highest paid. Then he said, I want to be in that ballpark. You can sign me now, and they wouldn't do it. No. Now, while he was willing to take a lower amount back then, but then when you string him along, he goes and plays for you. And you string him along, and we're going to talk to you. Don't talk to you. Then you talk about him in the press, like he
and you
like
call him Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
Call him Michael.
Yeah, and then your star player, you call him Michael, and then you're going to say you start in questioning his integrity by saying he's supposed to have been hurt.
Yeah.
That is a problem for me as a player. You're going to say that. You're messing with me personally, saying that I'm just, dragging it on the side. That's why I didn't play in those games towards the end. I don't think he would have did that when he was in the mix of being the leader for sacks. He had all kind of incentives in his contract to get that, and he's going to just sit out. Even though it was probably sickening of what was going on in Dallas, still, I don't think he's that type of player.
Reality is Terry McLaurin, Micah Parsons, and Hendrickson for the Bengals, they're going to play. They're not sitting out. I'm convinced they're not, because they have no they really have no leverage. You look up Le'Veon Bell. You can't sit out. I guess you can.
Yeah.
But then you just you kill your clock. You have a limited career. There's too much money on the table. Micah Parsons is going to make $24 million this year.
Right.
Now, what Jerry could technically do is tag him 2 years.
Yeah.
After this, he could tag him once and tag him again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he would do that. I don't know at this point.
Yeah,
What I think this is what I think is going to ultimately happen. And Hendrickson is going to make $16 million, and Tracy McLaurin with incentives and roster bonus makes $19.65 million. The point is, these guys are going to play this year because they can't afford to sit out and leave money. And they don't want to miss a game because that's a lot of money.
Right.
That's a game check. I mean, Micah Parsons game check, doing the math, divide 17 into 24. That's well over $1 million a game. He won't make. He'll be in. He'll play. Now, what ultimately happens down the road, I think what's going to happen is they'll sign him. They'll get the deal done, and then Jerry's going to, and Jerry will pay him more money because he always does.
Mm-hmm.
Did it with Dak, did it with Lamb, but he loves that. I'm convinced that because Jones is loving the media attention, he'll pay for that, and he'll pay the player more money just to keep this in the media. Because right now, preseason, you flip on talk radio, and all you're hearing is Jerry, Micah, and money.
Yeah.
And contract. You don't even know about who's playing. The preseason is almost in the back seat, sort of to speak. And front and center is Jerry and Micah and money, and Jerry loves this. And the more he talks, the worse he sounds.
Yeah. And he must love it because he took everybody through the ringer.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You go all the way back.
Yeah. And he ends up paying him more money.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott's a fine example but Dak was always so low key and in the background, and Dak wouldn't get involved with any of this. He would just sit back.
Yep.
I think he was kind of knowing what was going to happen, and Dak Prescott wouldn't say three words.
Smart. And he was smart
very smart.
Because he's looking at it, okay, you don't want to pay me.
All right,
just wait, and then you're going to have to pay me.
You're going to pay me.
Or I'm going to go be somewhere else. I'm still going to get paid.
Yeah. I'm going to sit back and wait.
But you get nothing if I go somewhere else.
Right.
So they had to pay him.
And then guess what? He got paid.
Yep.
A lot.
Yes. And people want to cry about it. That's not his fault at
all.
No. He was willing to take the other money before then.
No. Saturday Morning Sports Page. First quarter of the book. Back after a quick timeout.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
The game is over, but this time, instead of asking how many goals did you score or what were your stats, try asking these questions. Were you a good teammate? Were you coachable? Did you give 100%? And did you have fun? Because those are the values that school sports instill in Ohio's young people, where winning and losing are secondary to the life lessons that will stay with kids long after their playing days are over. This is the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Educate through sports.
Saturday Morning Sports Page back at you, 330-707-4202. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. Western Reserve Radio is the station you're listening to. High school football is here this week, and college football starts this week. So we've got college football. Dave's playing some 70s.
Yeah.
Last week I forgot to comment that I was listening. I like to listen to the old Casey Kasem shows on Saturday morning, and one of my favorite songs, actually I really liked them a lot, was War. They had Gypsy Man. They call me the Gypsy Man. I love that song, and I couldn't get it out of my head the rest of the year. One of those, listen to these countdowns. Either I listen to the 70s and the 80s, and sometimes if they play these songs like Gypsy Man, then I can't get it out of my head the rest of the weekend. They call me the Gypsy Man.
Yeah,
I like War.
Days. Yeah,
that was such a great band. And then, but that song War wasn't. They didn't do that song War. Edwin Starr did War.
That. Yep. But people thought it was War.
A lot of people thought they did that song War.
Yep.
And that was Edwin Starr who did War. Now, Edwin Starr has passed. Rest in peace, Edwin Starr. I liked him too, but I love that song, War, War, what is it good for?
War, yep.
Oh, absolutely nothing. Say it again.
Yep. 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 Oh, yeah.
I used to have these groups I used to just listen to.
Yep.
The other song that I heard it was on, and I remember I forget I was in college, and I don't know, was the song That's the Way of the World by Earth, Wind, Fire.
Oh, yeah.
I had to go buy it. I had to go buy because I couldn't stop. I got that. I don't know. I woke up one morning and I was thinking about that song and I had to go buy it because I couldn't get it out of my head. And I go, I got to buy it because I had to listen to it.
Yeah.
Then I listened to it 100 times. And in college, I'm just listening to That's the Way of the World, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That was.
And that was just great to me,
height of their career.
That was the height of their career.
Yeah.
Height, I think, just a great song, great band.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's just like, all these great bands growing up.
Yep.
And one of my favorites to this day is still the Four Tops. See, people talk about music. I go back. I like the older music back in the 60s, the 70s with a lot of those groups back then. Pablo Cruz, Love Will Find a Way. That was on this morning. I remember that song, but so many songs that I think of and I go back. I really like that era.
Yeah.
The Temptations, the Four Tops, War. Pablo Cruz is a little bit later in the 70s, but the Tops are more, Four Tops are 60s and then into the 70s. I think that actually went into the 80s.
Yeah.
But there are those bands there that I like that era of music.
Right.
And Jim Croce will always be my favorite. Died at such a young age. I believe it was 29.
Was it in a plane
crash
right?
In 1973.
Yep.
September of 73. I was a senior in high school, and I remember finding out about it.
Yep, I remember that.
29 years old, Jim Croce passed. 30. He was 30 years old when he passed. And to this day, it's just like I said, I had his albums and used to play those till, literally wore those out. But, that was an era of music that I still think to this day was one of my favorite eras. I know there's the stuff this day and age. I get it.
Yeah.
But the older stuff, especially you start talking about
especially way back. I like it better too.
I thought it was better music. But anyway, we do digress on this show. We've been all over the board this morning. But getting back, Terry McLaurin, like I said, he will make $19.65 million. Trey Hendrickson makes $16 million. Micah makes $24 million. I think they will play because they won't give up the game check.
Yeah, that's one. I understand Henderson. I wonder if he's going to stick to it. Everything is fine except the guaranteed money.
They can't get the guaranteed money figured out.
And they don't want to give him guaranteed because
his age. He's old. He's 30. Is he 30? Yeah.
Yeah. And he may be 31 during the season or something like that. But this is a guy that said, okay, I won't even talk about contract. I'll just play again and prove myself again. Well, what he does, he goes out and get even more sacks and leads the league. So
he's 31. He'll be 31 in December. You're right. Good call.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, allow this guy. I think he should definitely get it. I think he should get the guaranteed money instead of them just trying to guarantee. I think it was just 1 year.
Yeah, he wants 2 years. 2-year guarantee.
Why wouldn't you give him that?
Because he's 30 years old.
Yeah. And I mean, he'd be 31. Next year, he'd be 31, start the season off, turn 32. I think he definitely has, as long as he doesn't get injured, I think he got enough in the tank. A few more years.
Yeah.
Come on, Cincinnati. You gotta get this guy because your defense, the offense is going to be there because you got a lot of weapons. But I don't care how many weapons you got. You're not going to continue to beat teams outscoring them. It's just not going to happen. You can do that all you want. When it gets down to the big time during if you squeak and get into that Super Bowl without a defense, that'd be something, but it'd be rough. It'd be rough in your own division without having a defense. So, these teams' offenses are improving, and all you got to do is have an off day on offense. That's why they try to get Burrow, and Burrow wanted to be playing during the preseason so they can get off to a quicker start.
That's been their problem.
Yeah.
Last year, their home game against New England, they lose at home. New England, first game of the year, fell down in a rabbit hole, couldn't get out of the rabbit hole, came on, won their games, but were too far behind the 8 ball. And ultimately, they were out of the playoffs. They were, in essence, hoping Kansas City needed to beat Denver, and they did not, because they didn't show up.
Right.
And Cincinnati, again, relying on other teams with their future at hand. They've got to get off to a better start and not find themselves down in the proverbial rabbit hole and then you're digging yourself out all year, and you could argue that Burrow may be the best quarterback. Well, it's Mahomes and Burrow, flip a coin, I think. I mean, they're both very great quarterbacks. I mean,
Yeah.
And so you have one of the best quarterbacks, say that, in the NFL.
Right.
I would say he's top 3.
Yeah, he might be in there. He may be in there.
Top 3 quarter. I mean, you got Mahomes.
Yep. I mean, it's hard to say.
Burrow and Josh Allen. I mean, they jump out at me, and then I think you could make the argument those 3, and then the other guys can fall in, to 4 and 5. But the three that jump out at me in the best 3 quarterbacks in the NFL in my eyes right now is Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen, and I don't know who's 1, 2, and 3. I just know that they're that close.
Yeah. Well, I just I mean, they're showing they even thinking we're going to have to rely on our offense to win these games early.
But that's the reason why, like you were saying, you've got to get Hendrickson in camp because you've got to get the defense.
You got to get some type of defense to stop him, and he's going to be. And even though that's not enough, you need more than him. You got other people that need to step up, but you need that pass rush. That's too much of your defense to lose. Right. That guy puts pressure on the quarterback. You need it. So, but I'm wondering, he said he's going to stand tough on that. And he get his guarantee, but we see when them game checks start coming and you're not getting it, it might change. He might be out like a game or 2, and then all of a sudden say, hey, go ahead and just go.
He's making $16 million, almost $1 million a game. I don't think he sits out. I just don't. And the problem you have in the NFL is you delay your clock. If you sit out, I heard some caller call in the other day and said, well, if he sits out, he'll get to a free agent quicker. No, you don't get to you can't. No. You don't get to a free agent quicker because your clock is stopped. The only way you get to your free agent, you have to play your contract out.
Yeah.
If you sit out, your contract sits there and doesn't move. When you come back, then you're where you were.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. Well, if I sit out, I'll get to that free agent. No, you won't get to that status quicker. You need to play your contract out.
You got to play. And that's why I just said they should be. You hate to have a guy. Yes, he'll come and play. But when I'm thinking of when you feel disgruntled, that's anybody. That means, are you fully focused on what's at hand as far as playing? You want to be professional and do that. But when you look up and see Mike Brown or see somebody, you're disgusted.
Oh, yeah.
You're not getting, and you can't keep your mind 100% on that focus that you need. You need this guy to feel comfortable, focused, know his family's taken care of. He's ready to play. Not thinking about other things. And see, that's what I think Cincinnati is messing up, because it also affects other guys that are playing. Even if he comes back and plays, it's affecting them too, because they can see in him that he may not be the same, and it starts to dwindle on them. They got to quit being so cheap.
Right. And that's
Cincinnati Bengals have been like that for years. You got your guy, go ahead and sign him.
Sign him up.
Give him an extension and go ahead. All of them. Come on, Jerry, what are you doing? You think they don't need Micah Parsons to put some pressure on the quarterback? And Terry McLaurin is, Jaden Daniels was one of them there.
I'm sure Jaden Daniels, definitely wants him there.
They got a great connection. So, Washington going to have to do something too. And, maybe we're going to see if any of the 3 basically, go ahead and say, you know what, that's it, we're going to trade you. And I think the only way they do that, they have to be getting some good assets back for these guys. They have to get some assets. I see them doing that.
I'll tell you one thing. I've come to the conclusion none of these guys are getting traded.
Yeah, because I don't know what assets you can get back. You might get draft picks, but you need something that's going to help you right now.
The Bengals told Hendrickson to go out and.
Oh, did they tell him?
Yeah, this was a while ago. This was months ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He didn't get anywhere. The problem you have with Hendrickson, I like him a lot. I agree with you, but nobody's going to give you see, here's your dilemma in the trade. Nobody's going to give you what you want. Like the Bengals are going to want a lot for him. I don't think no one's going to give them a first rounder. They're going to want at least a first rounder for him. No team's going to give a first rounder up for a guy that's 30 years old. I mean, now they might give you a second or a third,
right?
But I think the Bengals are going to want a lot more for him.
Yeah.
Now, Micah Parsons might be different because I could see somebody because of his age.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
You'd say, yeah, you know what? I'll give you a first. I'll give you a first and a second, and throw a player in because you would. Although GMs historically don't like to give up their draft picks really on anybody, but I think for Micah, he would generate a first rounder.
He's only like 26, maybe. If he's that old, he might be in that range. And you think about it, 3 years, he'd be 29, so he can go and get another contract. That teams will look at it like that. Oh yeah, I give a first round because by the time my first rounder I would had develops,
26.
See, by the time he develops 3 years, 3 to 5 years, Mike could be at the prime of his career, and we can give him another contract and keep going. That makes sense. Getting a first rounder for Hendrickson does not.
No, you won't get a first round for Hendrickson, and you would not get a first round for Terry McLaurin either.
No,
but you would get a first rounder for Micah.
Yeah, I think you definitely would.
And I think they were saying like the rumor is the team that could fit him under the cap would be New England.
Yeah.
The Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all that buzzword that could the Patriots trade for Micah and they could get him under the cap, sign him, give him the deal he wants, and then he'd be with Rabel.
Right.
With that defense. And all of a sudden you're thinking, wow. But if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you do not want to trade Micah Parsons.
No, you don't want to.
No, because he is your defense. Now, I know we didn't have a couple great playoff games, and a caller called in and pointed that out, saying, yeah, but he didn't do well against Green Bay, but nobody played good against Green Bay. The one game they got absolutely their doors blown off.
Yeah, well, Jordan Love had a great
Jordan Love played one of his best games ever. Mm-hmm. And bottom line is, so people are going, well, he had a bad playoff game, and he wants too much money. Well, good luck with that. Because at the end of the day, you need him on your defense, especially, I'm thinking in the back of what would happen. Not to say that Micah Parsons would sit out, but if he did, like Emmitt Smith sat out, Dallas went 0-2. People forget this. Yeah. And then Jerry paid him.
Yeah.
After they went 0-2, all those players were starting to freak out because the game was different back then.
Yeah.
It was more, and Emmitt, had that he was a great runner, obviously, for Dallas Hall of Famer. But when they went 0-2, then all of a sudden they signed him. So my question would be,
they won the Super Bowl.
And they won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
But they started out 0-2, and they came off the Super Bowl.
Right.
Win, and then Emmitt sat out. Jerry wouldn't sign him, and then they lost 0-2 with no Emmitt. And they turned around, okay, we better get him in here and sign him. And they signed him. He brought in, they ended up winning the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But the point on it is, what happened if they lose? Micah Parsons does sit out and they end up losing. There'll be that place would be bedlam down there.
I know. So how that team, they won it.
Could you imagine that?
He's trying to be too hardcore, trying to do all this. I mean, and I just think he's made an embarrassment out of everything. I mean, I know that has to bother Micah to know a guy call you Michael. And, did he? Now, he might have had a senior moment. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think he's 82.
Yeah, so he could have, Michael and Micah, it's all the same to him.
Yeah, he could have.
So, I mean, that could have happened, but that also lets you know if he is having a senior moment, he could be having a senior moment in his thinking. And you need to get someone else in there to do this job that he feels that he's the ultimate.
Well, they start out against Philly, at Philly, Thursday night. Dallas at Philly, opening up Thursday, September 4th.
Oh, yeah, it is Philly. I thought it was at Dallas.
No, it's at Philly. Mm-hmm. Dallas at Philly on NBC. Mm-hmm. It's Thursday, September 4th, kicking off the NFL regular season. Everybody will be watching. And the question's going to be, is Michael Parsons going to be on the field playing in a Dallas Cowboy uniform?
And he may. And the thing about it, I mean, I could see him being, you never know what kind of game. He might have a great game, but can he continue to play that way when you then sat out? You haven't practiced. You haven't done anything.
And
really.
That's a good question.
He does stuff on the side, I think in the back or whatever sometimes, but not getting the reps. It's nothing like getting the reps on the field and doing it. And I understand him being upset like that because especially when it came to this, like we was talking about, this is an embarrassment. You know, other guys that went back and tried to practice with this guy saying all kind of things about you in the media.
Yeah. You see,
why are you attacking this guy?
And then Jerry's saying, well, he's making like Micah out to be the bad guy. Micah and I agreed on the contract.
Right.
And then the agent gets involved and now we don't have an agreement. So he's acting like Micah goes back on his word. And it's like, this is how, like, Jerry doesn't get it. Like, you can't bypass the agent.
Right. You don't supposed to do that.
You don't do that.
Right.
And if you do it, you set up for this because ultimately the agent's getting involved. You can't bypass the agent. Jerry thinks I can go to these guys and I can handshake the deal, screw the agent. We don't need the agent. Then the player comes to the agent goes, no, you're not doing that.
Right.
Because there's all these other factors involved here that's why I'm your agent.
Right.
And you're not, he agrees with you, but there's other factors here that you haven't addressed on a handshake.
Yeah.
Because these contracts are so complicated anymore. So it's like, Jerry, why are you doing that anyway? Why do you go to these players and act like I'm a good old guy? Let's go ahead and get a handshake here and you'll come play for me on a handshake. That was fine when it was back maybe in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, because the contracts were crap compared to now. You can't do that in this day and age with these contracts because you have a cap.
Yeah.
You've got guaranteed money. Then you put the money over, years, and how do you work that in? And then you got to work the contract in with the cap. And there's all these factors involved that you just can't handshake a deal with a guy.
Yeah.
You ought to know. And the thing is, and then he was the other day, I'm the GM. That's the problem. Jerry, you are the GM. That's why you haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years.
Right. Yeah. It is. It's got a lot to do with him.
It is.
And I mean, that's
we had a handshake deal.
Yeah. And I don't even know if that was all the way true.
What the hell? That's what I mean.
The way Micah taught, and he did a good job of not getting way involved. And he just said they did talk about different things that he would do, but he didn't.
Right.
He said he told him, I got to see with my agent.
Right.
And he told him, well, we don't need no agent. Just like you just said.
Right.
We don't need the agent. We can do this deal right here.
But you can't.
And he knows that. I can't do that without my agent. And then it came up, remember, in the media where he said back to I guess somebody asked him a question. He said, well, I can't sign a contract or agree to anything until my agent is able to look it over.
Right. But Jerry needs to know that he can't agree to that because you got to figure the cap out and you've got to figure out how you're going to work the contract out longer time. Like if you're going to start talking to Micah, I'm going to make you the highest paid, deal, blah, blah, blah. But you got to sit down with your own people and figure out, okay, how do we put that in? Is it guaranteed over the period of the contract, roster bonuses, incentive bonuses? I mean, there's all these things involved that impact your salary cap that Jerry, can't just handshake that through. It's like you can't blow it. Oh, yeah, we got a deal. No, you don't. You got to talk with your son and probably the other people involved with the nut and bolt and say, well, wait a minute. We can't pay him like that. We can pay him, but we have to do it you spread it over the period of a contract. How many years are you making it? And Mahomes has his contract, but he put it 10 years and they got the money all over the place.
Right.
But he's obviously, not had any problems. But the point is, you can't sit down with Mike and handshake a deal you don't even know.
Yeah, that's insane what he did with them.
Because you got to figure out how his contract's going to impact your salary cap, and how do you want to work the cap, or how do you spread it over? Of the length of the contract, the life of the contract. Like Brady Quinn brings this stuff up a lot on the show that I listen to. He knows a lot about the cap and all that, and he gets into the nut and bolt. And it's like, well, yeah, okay. But how do you just can't sit down these contracts with the salary cap, or wait, just too complicated to do a handshake.
Yeah. Well, he knows that he's supposed to talk to his agent.
Yeah.
The reason he was doing that is the old word they used to use, bamboozled. That's what he's trying to do. Say whatever, get him to handshake, and sign on a deal that he puts together.
Right.
Without anybody seeing it. And that's what he wants to do. And nobody's doing that. So now, since he doesn't do it, he's got all these negative things to say about him. Well, he doesn't come, he's going to play on that. It makes others see what he does. He doesn't understand. Other guys know they're getting paid. That's playing there. But they also looking at, my time is coming soon.
Well,
that now I'm going to be up for this. I got to go through this situation with this guy. Or do I just want to go ahead and don't even worry about going through it? I'm just going somewhere else. Because I would have a problem. I mean, it's great allure to play for the Dallas Cowboys, but dealing with that, I just had to go somewhere else, man.
This is the reason why they haven't won in 30 years, because of Jerry.
Well, it's him all the way.
It's him all the way. And he had it with Jimmy. He had the team. Jimmy helped put together. Really, Jimmy put it together.
Yep.
They got mad because Jerry didn't want to give Jimmy the credit, like two 9-year-old kids. You're getting credit. I want more credit than you're getting. Jerry, Jimmy going back and forth. Who should be getting credit here?
Yeah.
Like two 9-year-old kids. Bottom line is, he leaves, Jimmy Johnson leaves. And so now Jerry has been struggling, trying to figure it out for 30 years. You haven't even made an NFL conference final. No. Last conference final was when you won the Super Bowl, the 1995, you won the 96 Super Bowl for the 95 season. That's the last time was there. Yeah. And you haven't even been to a conference final since then.
And back then I was a Dallas fan, but even in that year that Barry Switzer took over, and I used to like Oklahoma. I just like Barry Switzer at Oklahoma.
Yeah, at Oklahoma he was good,
and he just was the right guy for Oklahoma. You know what I mean? He fit there. So even though they brung him in, I didn't feel like I was back in the day when he came and ousted Tom Landry. That was the reason I was getting ready to say I'm done with the Cowboys, because how they did him. It's just like, get out there, just kicked him out like garbage.
Yeah,
get out. That's how Jimmy get out of here.
Yeah.
Jerry, he just kicked him out.
Yeah.
But then he brung Jimmy in, and I was Miami Hurricanes guy. So I was like, okay, you got my guy in here, and then you're drafting Michael Irvin, you bringing guys that I like. Okay, I'm with you. And I'm with him all the way. And then he the first year they won the Super Bowl, he's okay. The second year, you can see that jealousy. And then when they won again, that was it then. They skipped a year. They lost, and then they won. And you can see that was a different guy then. Yeah, he was a guy, I said, you're going to kick this guy out the door.
That's what he did.
Because you want to have more like you did. You didn't do anything. Jimmy's the one that came in and started cutting guys for just fumbling. I remember them having Kirvin Richards. Very good running back from Pitt. But he kept fumbling in preseason. He was their starting running back. And Jimmy cut him. And the people was like, what? That's our top back. Get out. You're fumbling. Yeah. We're going to have a top-notch football team. Well, they went 1-15. But then after that, Super Bowl. Yeah. And I was loving it. And Jerry couldn't take it. He wanted all the credit.
Yeah, Jerry wanted it all.
Jerry wanted all of it.
Halftime, Saturday Morning Sports Page will be back after a quick timeout on Western Reserve Radio.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
If I could be you,
and you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Saturday Morning Sports Page, back at you.
Good job. Good running ability there. You did.
Bad
Not
legs.
bad. You got some agility still.
Yeah, I got a little agility there, even with a bad wheel. As Dandy Don Meredith would say, I have a hitch in my get along.
Yeah.
I got a hitch in the get along.
Yeah.
It's called age. I got a knee giving me problems. What else is new?
Yeah, what can we do?
Everybody's got something. Anyway, back hour number 2, halftime. Talked about obviously the Jerry Jones debacle. He's such a disaster. I'm sorry. I can't think of any other word to describe him as a disaster. Yeah. He's got this whole thing with everybody, and that's so everybody says Michael Parsons should be getting paid. He's a top defensive player. You can't, sit there, get it figured out. Come on, guys. You've got everything there. Just sign him and get him in.
Yeah. And
give him the money that he pretty much wants because Myles Garrett is going to get, you're going to basically pay him to be probably the top defensive player in the league, which he is. No one's arguing that.
Yeah. Now you got to go above. Who was the last contract at that position? Somebody went above Myles Garrett.
Was it Watt?
TJ. Yeah, TJ Watt. So now you got to go one above him.
You got to go above him.
I don't care if it's just 100,000. You got to go above him. So, but you didn't have to do that because Micah was okay way back last year, taking like 30-something million. He was okay with that. Now it's in the 40s. It's the same thing with Dak, who was okay with taking 40-something million on a contract. You get him all the way up to what, 60?
Yeah.
But Dak Prescott, and people want to look at it. He's taking that. Well, no. Dak was okay with taking the other money, but Jerry didn't want to pay him. He took him to the wee hours.
Top defensive end contracts in the NFL. Okay. Average held TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Max Crosby.
Okay.
Garrett is getting $40 million. Watt is getting $41 million. Bosa is getting $34 million. Crosby is getting $35.5 million.
Right.
All right. Oh, you got to pay him $43 million. Yeah. All right. What's so hard about that? So get him in, figure it out, stop all this crap. We had a handshake deal.
But you keep wasting.
Yeah, you're wasting everybody's time.
But you're wasting your team's millions
and that's
down with the cap because now it's $10 million more than it was before.
Yeah.
Dak went up like $15 million.
Right.
Diggs, if guys remember the corner, Diggs went through the same thing. And he got like 8 more additional million because you just dragging it and then want to blame the player. But the player was willing to take what the price was back then.
Right.
You didn't want to pay him.
So
everything keeps going up, and then you got to pay him. So you blame the player now like it's his fault. I mean, this is insane.
Yeah, and I think everybody knows what's going to happen between now and the start of the season. He'll get signed. He's going to end up giving, and he's going to give him more money. He's going to end up giving him more money.
And all he does is mess his cap up. Because
and he'll
now he got to get rid of some guys next year because he's too much up against the cap.
He's screwed up.
And it'd be key players. And that's why they can't get over the hump because they can't keep a solid big-time players core together because of what he's doing. He should not be the GM. Just be the owner. Just be the owner.
Again, that's his problem. The problem is he's not the GM. Let's look at some of the over-unders. Let's go. Let's start with the. I pulled these off. I think it was Yahoo. Great sports site. Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles, all 11.5. So the question I say is, by team, you got the Ravens 11.5. I think, from what I understand, the Bills have a relatively easy schedule, so they'll probably be over.
Yeah, I heard that. I did hear that there should be easy.
The question I guess you're going to run into, like, Kansas City's in a really tough division. Buffalo obviously is not in a tough division. Because I just don't think those other 3 teams. I mean, New England is going to be better, but they're not at the level of Buffalo. They might surprise them. But Miami and the Jets, I don't know. I know I'm hearing a lot of, bad things about the Jets, and they're just not good offensively. Can't throw the ball. Justin Fields can't throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
They don't look really good in the preseason. Not that that matters because that means nothing at the end of the day, but they are the Jets. So, you know, they're going to be, so I'll take the Bills on and over. I'll tell you one thing, and that's the crazy thing is, like, when you're looking at these teams, especially like Baltimore, you have that division with Pittsburgh. And how good is Pittsburgh going to be with Rodgers?
Yeah.
He hasn't played in the preseason, but that shouldn't surprise anybody. The Bengals are going to obviously be a tough team. The Bengals and the Ravens always tee off on one another.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns, the Browns are getting no respect. They're actually at the low. The Browns have the lowest 4.5 for over under, but they have an incredibly brutal schedule.
Yeah, they do.
So, I mean, they're not expecting the Browns to win 5 games. 4.5 is the over-under for the Browns.
Oh, almost wish I could look at their schedule. To see, but
I know I've looked at the Browns' schedule.
It is tough.
It's brutal. But looking at the Ravens' schedule real quick, you've got basically, they start off with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Then they have Cleveland at Buffalo. That's this big Sunday night game. Opening week is this NBC Sunday night game. Everybody will glue to that set. And then they have Cleveland, home, Detroit, Kansas City, Houston, the Rams. They've got the Bears. Then obviously they've got Miami, Minnesota. This is Baltimore.
Yeah, that's
Green Bay, New England. So they play the East, the NFC East. And then obviously they're going to be playing they've got Chicago and Green Bay in there and Detroit. So they're going to be playing the Central. I know. I think they're going to be an under. I don't know if they're going to make 11.5 wins. That's going to be, they got to go to 12. Yeah. Are they going to get, see the question?
I'm thinking they're going to be 11 wins. I think that's where they at.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. That's tough. I'm going to go with, oh my.
Under or over?
Yeah. Because over's got to be 12 wins.
Got to be 12.
12-5 or 11-6.
Right. I just think that schedule's too tough.
I'm going to go 11-6, even though they're loaded.
They're a good team.
Yeah, and they even strengthened their team with the acquisitions in their draft.
Yeah. Oh, they've done well.
Yeah, I
just think that
it's just a lot on them. I'm just going to.
When you look at that schedule,
mm-hmm.
and you see it's Buffalo, Buffalo's going to be a tough start out. Okay, Cleveland, but Cleveland gives them trouble.
Yeah, no.
Cleveland has a tendency to give them trouble.
It's always a division team in the lower division team that does that to you.
Right. It always is.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
And I think that's with all the different divisions. They got one team in there
that always is
all these problems, and they not really that top echelon, but it's problems after problems. So
I'm
gonna go 11 wins. So that's under.
Yep. And you want Buffalo over 11.5. Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going over with them.
I know their schedule easy. People are thinking Buffalo should have at least 13 wins, probably 14 wins on that schedule.
Right.
Kansas City Chiefs at 11.5. Now, obviously, you have their division, which is maybe the best division, one of the best divisions. I mean, the Chargers. You got the Chargers. Denver is. Again, Denver.
I'm going 11. I'm going with them the same thing, under 2.
Me too.
I don't know if they can get 12. They may. They're so great. I got to give it to them. I don't mind giving the team. They're good, but it's tough to keep winning like that. I'm gonna go 11 wins for them.
Okay, next one up is your Philadelphia Eagles, Dave Clark.
I'm going under. They got a hard schedule too. They loaded with teams after team after team. They did well, but they lost a lot of guys. They replaced them with good young talent, but
they won the Super Bowl. Everybody's gunning for you.
Yeah, so I'm going 11. I'm going under. I think they only get 10 or 11 wins. Might win the division, but we noticed that usually NFC
they play Kansas City. They're playing the Kansas City, Denver. Philly is playing that Kansas
West.
City's division.
Yeah.
So
and
they're playing
all the teams in there.
They're playing the Raiders, the Chargers. I don't know what they're going to be. They may be a lot better than Denver, and Kansas City.
Yep.
So they're playing those 4 teams, and then they're going to play they got Tampa Bay, they got the Rams, Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago. So they got the Central Division. And obviously they're going to be playing Buffalo.
Yep. And then their own division too. So that's why I say 10 wins for.
Yeah, they got Tampa Bay.
And I actually think, somebody else might win the division again. They never win. No team wins the division back to back.
I think the last time they won, what was that? God, when was the last time a team won that division back? Was it 2003?
Yeah, it's back. It's back there.
Oh, I heard that the other day on the radio.
Yeah. It's always a new champion.
That East Division.
That lets you know just
year in and year out.
Yeah, they just changed.
The team that
good division.
Last time I think they had the repeat probably was the Cowboys. What was it? Maybe or no?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't know when the last time there was back-to-back champions in the NFC East. I mean, it's back. It's been a while since I've seen a team win it again, their division. It'd be a great accomplishment if the Eagles can win the division again. Because Washington has got the confidence now. Like I said, I think the Giants would be better.
2004.
2004? And who was it? Dallas?
Eagles.
It was the Eagles back then. See?
Last time NFL team repeated as a division champion in the NFC East was 2004. Eagles.
It's been over 20 years.
Eagles won 2001 to 2004. They won it every year.
Okay.
From 2001 to 2004. But since 2004, starting 2005, no team has repeated. 20 years.
20 years. Well, maybe they can do it after 20 years, but it's going to be tough. And they still could, but I'm still going under.
Like I'm going to go under.
I'm under on that.
Let's go to Detroit and the 49ers, both sitting at 10.5.
I'm going over.
For Detroit?
Or the San Fran. I know they done lost a lot, but that schedule it's got to be one of the easiest.
They've had problems with the wide receiver. I know they made some trades.
Yeah.
So you think, Seattle's got, they start off with their division opponent, Seattle. Oh, then they have New Orleans, Arizona, Jacksonville, the Rams. That's Tampa Bay. Oh, they've got Tampa Bay, Atlanta division. They have Houston. They have the Giants. They have, they have that Carolina, that division. They go to Tennessee, in Indy, Chicago, and Seattle. Oof, I don't know. So you think they'll go? You want them over the 10? And you think they'll get 11 wins? I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Sam, just the culture that they have. It's hard for me to see them just being a middle of the road team.
10.5.
Period. It's hard for me to see that just
would
period.
They be 11? Can they get 11 wins out of that? That's going to be the case.
It's going to be tough. I think you're right. It's still going to be tough. I just can't see them being a middle of the road team with an easy schedule and can't get it. I think they're going to rebound, but they do got a lot of missing pieces, though. A lot.
Yeah, they play the Tampa Bay Atlanta division, which is, but
that's a division they could get beat.
They
Tampa
could get beat.
Atlanta could beat them. The Saints is not going to beat them, and Carolina probably wouldn't. But
yeah,
man, that's a hard one. But
yeah, I don't. Yeah,
it's hard. So if you go under, it'll be 10 wins.
They start the year at Seattle,
and you said it's under.
Under 10.5. So
if they 10 wins.
10 wins. If they get 10 wins, if you go over, you lose because they got to win 10.5. So it's got to be over that.
Yeah,
everything's got a half on it.
I
so
know.
You can't.
I'm thinking they definitely get 10 wins.
Okay, the question is, do they get 11 wins?
I know.
That's the question.
Yeah, Seattle's going to be a problem. Rams is going to be a problem.
Right.
You can split with all them. Who else is in their division?
Well, you have Seattle is in that division, and the Rams.
And Arizona. You can split that. You can split that too.
Right. Arizona is a wild card team. That's the team that's that's the team I can never ever figure out is Arizona.
Yeah, I know.
They are just the ultimate wild card team. Never know what you're getting. You don't know if they're showing up. They can win games. They're losing a game. Oh, they're going to get blown out. And they end up kick field goal, they win. It's like Arizona to me is like the ultimate. If you're a betting person, I would never bet on that team one way or another because you just don't know. They can get blown out.
Yep.
Kyler Murray can look really like he doesn't know what he's doing. And then the next game, he's making all these plays. You're figuring, wait a minute. What happened last week? What happened this week? They're the ultimate Jekyll Hyde team. Is the Arizona Cardinals. I can't ever figure them out.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say San Fran up. Oh man.
You want the over?
No, I'm gonna have to go to under because I think they could lose 3 just in their division.
And now you see the team here that I think is an interesting team is going to be Detroit. Because to me, they had those injuries last year. They looked like the team. They were going into the Super Bowl. The defensive injuries hit them. They got beat in the playoffs. Now, have they recovered enough? I don't know. I don't know. They lost. I can't judge preseason, but you look at their schedule.
Oh, it's a brutal one too.
And it's and
is they 10.5? Is it?
They're 10.5. And they got they got Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati division. So they got that Central division or that's the North division.
Yeah. So you playing.
Then they have Kansas City and Tampa Bay. Then they've got Washington, Philly, and the Giants. So they've got the Giant division with Dallas. And then they have the
Dallas
Central.
Too?
They play Dallas too. And then they play that Central division. I guess it's the North division. It's the AFC North. I keep calling it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. And
they got 10.5 or more.
They're up for 10.5. So you think they got to win 11?
I'm almost saying under for everybody. That schedule is brutal.
But that's a really tough schedule.
Yeah. And I mean, they are a good football team, but this is the third year. You had a IU tip ball.
Right.
To get you where you didn't get to the Super Bowl. Last year, you got Jaden Daniels taking you out. Do you have enough in the tank to come back this year? And you got a tough division.
Yeah.
I think Chicago will improve. Green Bay, Minnesota. If McCarthy just manage the game well enough, that's a problem. That's a problem because they got a good defense. So, oh man, I'm going under.
Yeah, I'm going under. I think that's too tough.
That's rough.
I just think you have way too many games. They've got too many tough games.
Yeah, they got a lot of them.
I like Campbell, the coach. I think he's done a great job with them. But I just think that is just a grind of a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing, again, that AFC North to me, it is to me just the toughest. And I'm thinking the Bengals are going to play great. I think they're going to have a great year. I think they're going to be good. I am concerned about this Hendrickson thing, though, taken away from the team. But you have the offense. It's going to be the defense. Now, Shamar Stewart's in camp, the rookie.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's going to be playing a lot. But that's why you need Hendrickson in there to help coach that young guy up, too.
Yeah. And he's been doing it from the side. But if you can have both of them.
Right.
Boy.
You're getting right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, Detroit, I stayed with the under on that one. It's tough.
The Bengals, here's the Bengals schedule. This is another one, man. Here's the Bengals. They have Cleveland. They have their division. Okay, they have they've got the Jacksonville,
Houston, all them division.
Yeah, let's see. They got the Jacksonville. They've got they play Minnesota division. They play Denver. Yeah, they play the Jets. That's a win. Then they've got the New England. They've got the Miami Jets. They've got the East or the least. They've got and Arizona. They got a weird schedule because they're kind of all over the board. They've got Jacksonville. They've got Denver, but they don't play. That's weird because it's like they play it's like a kind of an a la carte of teams. It's not like they've got Jacksonville, but they don't play that division.
Okay, and they got Denver, and they don't play
and
that whole division.
They play Denver, but I don't see them playing. They don't play the Chargers.
They don't play the Raiders or the Chiefs either.
No. They play Chicago, but they don't play Green Bay.
They play Minnesota and Detroit.
Yeah, they play Minnesota, Detroit. Yeah, Green Bay. They've got the Central.
Okay.
That's the division they play. They play the Central, and then they play the East, the AFC East. So they've got the Central and the East, AFC East, and then they've got the NFC Central. Then they throw them Jacksonville to play. So the question you're going to ask yourself, can the Bengals
get to 10? Huh?
9? The Bengals are 9.5. Can they get to 10? Can the Bengals get to 10 wins?
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna say they can do it. They got 9 last year.
Well, they've got the East. Yeah,
I think they can get to 10.
They could get to. They're going to win. They should win 3 out of the 4 in the East. I don't know if they're going to be Buffalo, but they're going to have the Jets. They'll beat the Jets.
They should.
They should. I mean, but again, the thing with the Bengals, they start out with Cleveland. At Cleveland. Then they go to Jacksonville. I mean, they have Jacksonville home, then at Minnesota, at Denver.
Right.
And then Detroit, at Green Bay. So they're out of the gate because Cleveland plays them really tough.
Yeah, I know.
So you can't say, it's Cleveland. No, Cleveland and the Bengals, that's a rival game, but that Cleveland has a tendency to get in their head. I think they kind of get in Burrow's head a little bit. I think Myles Garrett kind of gets, this Cleveland Browns basically make the Bengals play at their worst. I've seen those Bengal teams play Cleveland. I'm thinking, this can't be the Bengals. They play terrible against Cleveland. They have Jacksonville at home. They should win that. But then at Minnesota, at Denver, Detroit, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, we know. But then the Jets is a win. Chicago Bears, home. Then they have New England, at Baltimore, at Buffalo, Miami, Arizona, Cleveland. Can they get? I guess the question is, can they get to 10 wins?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the. Like
gonna go over.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go over. I think there's 10 wins in there. They're gonna have to. I think they're gonna have some problems getting to 10. I think they will. They go 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the next one here is going to be. I think this is real interesting because the Denver Broncos, to me, I mean, Bo Nix got, we talk about this a lot, players getting into the right system.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton knew Bo Nix had the skill set for his system. I'm obviously, that's not going out on a limb.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean Payton said, if they would have had the first pick in the draft, they were going to pick Bo Nix anyway. Like, he wanted Bo Nix from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton said, he says, I knew from watching all, and I can't argue with him because look how well Bo Nix has played under that system. But Sean Payton basically knew that Bo Nix was his guy.
Right.
He goes, I don't care where we were drafted. I was just glad he fell to us, but I was picking Bo Nix
anyway.
Mm-hmm. And so Denver rolls into the season, and you're thinking they got into the playoffs last year. They played pretty good. They got beat. But the point with Denver is they've got the Tennessee, Indianapolis division. That's kind of an easy division. And Jacksonville. Then obviously they play their division. Yeah. And then they have Kansas City. Well, that's their division, Kansas City. So they got the Bengals. They got Philly. They got the Jets. Houston. And they had Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm going to take them over.
I'll go over.
What they're over 9, right?
9.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go 10.
Will they get to 10?
Yeah, I think they will.
We're going to come on break, but you know what? We're going to take a timeout coming up on our break because when we come back, I forgot. I want to talk about the situation with the Colts and their quarterback. What does it mean for Richardson? Daniel Jones was named the starter.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens to Richardson? Now, Irsay's daughter is running the team. This will be interesting to see what they do with Richardson. I'm going to wait. I'll tell you what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break from the over-under, talk about Richardson.
Yeah.
Third quarter's in the books. Saturday morning sports page. Coming right back at you on Western Reserve Radio.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for years he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
This is Jerry Snodgrass, Executive Director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One of my long-standing goals is to help people understand that high school sports are about so much more than wins and losses. The OHSAA promotes education-based athletics, where sports are an extension of the classroom. Our schools all want to win. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, it's all about sportsmanship, leadership, and making certain that academics are a priority. Thank you for your support of high school sports in Ohio.
Saturday morning sports page, back at you. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. We're going to take a little quick break from over under. We'll get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot. I wanted to talk about this situation with Richardson, who was, drafted, number 5 overall.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lot of college starts. He was a project.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the whole situation with him. He struggled. Some of it's his fault. I think some of it's the team's fault.
Yeah.
He's been hurt. Not a good formula when you draft a quarterback who needs the college start, who didn't have the college starts, draft him, and then he gets hurt and he's not getting the pro starts, needs to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is then when he does play, he's erratic. He's great one play, and then he's not so good 2 or 3 plays, not winning games. We've talked about this many, many times where the NFL teams don't have the patience or the capability, sadly, to develop the quarterback when they're not winning games. There's a give and take in there. This past week, Daniel Jones was named the starter over Richardson. Now people are thinking, what's Richardson's future in Indy?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking in the back of my head, and then people are thinking, well, they're going to trade him. My take is, knowing what I know, I like Daniel Jones. I think he's going to be okay. But I also realize the way Daniel Jones plays, he's probably going to get hurt. I don't wish an injury on any player, but I'm just saying, watching Daniel Jones plays, and he kind of takes risks. He likes to run, move around, and that's all great. But look at his injury history with the Giants. And so I'm thinking that, sadly, there's a chance that Daniel Jones may get hurt. Then I think Richardson's going to get his chance again.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think right away. No way they're going to do that. They go ahead with Daniel Jones and see what happens. And I tell you one, if he doesn't get hurt, but there's no spark to that offense,
well, that's what
Richardson will be back in there anyway. And then you got to go with him from there. Now, what happens is the patience part, not the patience with Richardson, the patience that there's no coach that has this leash and says, I'm going to give you 5-6 years and we get it on the road. Shane Steichen, they looking for him to win now.
Oh, he got
his third year.
Right.
He's forced. His hand is forced that I got to get somebody in there that I know that's going to be there. Richardson, I feel he can do it, but he keeps getting hurt. I can't keep doing that, so I got to get a good start off. So you go with Daniel Jones, but I'm saying we'll see by the 4th, 5th game. If they're 1-4 and the offense is sputtering, if it gets that far, I don't even know if Shane Stein will get that far, but they're sputtering on offense and they're losing, Anthony Richardson will be back in quarterback. But see, that just causes a problem because now you're musical quarterback.
Then you see you're right.
And what do you have to do is once he switched to Richardson, he can't go back. You just got to leave unless he gets injured again. Other than that, you got to stay with Richardson all the way.
Speaking of, since we were doing over-unders, but the Colts sit at an over-under of 7.5. Okay, so 8 wins, 8-9.
8-9, yep.
Okay, here's who the Colts start off with. Miami at home.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? That's probably a coin. I mean, I don't know. That's got to be a coin toss.
Could be.
Denver's probably, they have Denver at home, but I think Denver would be favored.
Yeah.
At Tennessee.
Yeah. They should
win Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then they got the Rams at the Rams. Yeah. So they go at Tennessee at the Rams.
They'll be the underdog in that.
Okay. Then you got the Vegas Raiders at home. You should maybe win that game.
Especially at home. Since they're home, you might.
They have Arizona home.
I don't think they'll beat Arizona.
So
but they could.
They could. That's another.
Because see, that's not. You got to remember, take away just the quarterback position and look at the rest of the team. They really do have a solid offensive line.
Yeah, team's good.
Not bad on defense.
No, it's a good team.
So
overall, it's a pretty solid team.
Yeah, no. So,
but I guess the question's going to be now. Steichen came out and said Daniel Jones is the guy.
Yeah, he said for the season too.
For the season, he's not going to do musical quarterbacks.
Right. That's what he's saying. He's for the season. So we see it.
But
that
if
happens.
If he starts off, if they lose to Miami, lose to Denver, and they're at Tennessee, and Tennessee ends up, if they go 1-4, say like they beat Tennessee but lose to the Rams, they're 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
And they, then they had Vegas at home. They should win that. So 2-3 or 3-2, depending on how you want it. 3-2 is not a problem.
Right.
I think if he starts 1-4,
there's a problem.
That might be a problem.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen.
So I don't know.
I know like he said, he's not changing.
No, he said he's not.
But that doesn't mean ownership won't change coaches. Well, they look before the season over. These people are so impatient.
Well, and the problem is, Irsay. The daughter's running it now.
Right.
Jim Irsay passed away. Obviously, we talked sadly, but now the daughter's running the show. These are 3 daughters. I think the one is, but she's thinking, I didn't hire Steichen. And who's the GM?
I forgot who it is.
Anyway,
she can get rid of them.
But that's what I mean. If they
and put her own
stumble and bumble through the season, and say like they go 7-10 or 6-11,
yeah, she might get rid of them.
She might be saying, you know what? I want to start over.
Yeah. Oh, I can see her putting her own stamp.
And maybe she says, maybe potentially they look at trading Richardson if they can get. He's still in a rookie deal, and and I know there's some GM and some coach out there wants him. If there's always a team out there that looks at Richardson because his raw talent and figure I can do something with him.
Yeah.
If I get him in my system.
And I really don't think of him as a bust. It's a guy that's been injured.
It's injury. It's
and
like
just not having all the experience.
Right.
Because you can see he can make every throw there is.
He's like a Trey Lance somewhat. Like Trey Lance had that problem where he started off not a lot of college starts. You see, and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
He played in the monsoon in Chicago, started. Then, he didn't play good, but no one plays good in a monsoon. And then he gets hurt the next week and then he's out.
Yeah.
And then they get rid of him.
Yeah.
And they gave a lot up. I mean, the 49ers gave a lot up to get Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that bailed them out was Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
So they got lucky with Brock Purdy. They didn't get very lucky with Trey Lance. And they gave a lot up to move up to get Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way it kind of flies sometimes. But getting back with Richardson, you look at Richardson and you're thinking, I think they have to decide what are they going to do with him, because with that the thing with Richardson is you're going to have to make a decision. Do you pick up that 5th year of the contract?
No, I think.
So do you trade him to a team that will figure I can develop this guy and I can get him in our system and I can get a system to fit his strengths, and I can work with the weaknesses, but I can get this guy, because we look at the raw ability and everybody knows it. Yeah, this guy could make some fantastic throws. It's just the consistency issue, and it gets back to not playing.
Yeah, and I think it, like he said, he won't change quarterbacks, but if they're not winning,
right,
I think it'll be an owner's thing that says go back to Richardson, and the reason for that, so he can play. Hopefully stay healthy the rest of the season.
And see what we have.
And see what we have. And then if we say, I don't know, but he's still going to have some learning, but we don't have time for that. Now you done showcase him enough that he could be traded to somebody to get that groom. You could trade and get something for him. And then if you're up there in the draft, you go in this next draft class and see what you can do. We done seen Arch Manning come out and say, "Hey, I don't know what my grandfather was talking about."
Right.
And now Archie is
backed off of that.
Yeah.
So what came out 2 weeks ago from grandfather Archie was,
which I was shocked for him to
I was
say that.
surprised for him to say it.
Yeah, I thought, hey, isn't he speaking out of turn instead of
let his son make that decision?
Yeah.
Grandson make the decision.
Yeah, the grandson and his son.
Right.
Make
Cooper.
that not you telling what's going to happen. I understand his feelings. I definitely
understand
it. And I think it should be where he stay another year. I think he should.
I personally think he should.
Yeah, but
But let the kid let them decide. But now I guess they've backtracked off that.
Yeah.
And we'll see. So, but he's playing, obviously. Arch Manning will play this year for Texas.
And we got to see how he play. Yeah, and he's got to be lighting it up. If he's okay,
he comes back another year.
Yeah, he goes back.
Well, Joe Burrow did that with LSU. He had a good year, but not a great year.
Right.
He came back. Joe Brady was the offensive coordinator for LSU.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he took off.
Right.
And he got the NFL playbook. He got an NFL playbook offense is what he was running his senior year at LSU, and he took off and then became, the number 1 pick and the best quarterback, and they won the national title. And Burrow was like, all everything, but he wasn't that great his junior year at LSU. He was okay.
Yeah.
He could have come out, but they said if he came out, he would have been like a 4th round pick. He stayed that year, developed, got everything in his play, got the NFL playbook, sort of to speak.
Yep.
And he became the number 1 pick overall, and the rest is history. So Arch Manning may be looking down that road too, saying, if I play okay this year, but knowing what I know with the NFL is they'll pick him in the 1st round. Even if he plays okay, someone is going to go after him.
Yeah. He still might be the first pick.
Right.
So,
and then
we'll see.
I know we didn't talk a lot about this because I think this is just absolutely ludicrous. This is so stupid that, the press, to me, trying to find something between Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, trying to make something out of nothing that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because Dylan Gabriel said entertainment. He meant the press. He meant you guys, not Shedeur.
Yeah, he said.
Right.
Well, I think Stephen A. Smith, when he came on, He said the right things. He said, because he used the word.
Right.
He said he should have said what you just said. He should have said entertainment.
Right.
But he said entertainers.
Right.
So
yeah,
he used the word entertainers.
Right.
So immediately
They
that made people
ran.
ran with it and said, "Oh, they're talking about Shedeur." And Stephen A. Smith said, he said, before I say anything about this, let me say this first. He said he was not talking about Shedeur.
No.
He said, because I talked to both of them kids before, I know how they were. Yeah. He was thinking. He said, really was talking about us.
Right.
He said, now, was the comment not thinking to be saying? He said he should never said anything.
Right. He shouldn't have said anything.
He should have kept that to himself.
Right.
And not say that.
No.
Because it gets blown out of proportion.
Right.
So I like how he came. He said that was he said basically, yeah, that's a bonehead mistake, because now you get all this press on you about something that you didn't truly mean, and causing a beef or animosity between players on the same team. And he said, I even think they're going to keep both of them.
I think
he kept saying that. He said to me, how do you keep a guy in Kenny Pickett
who
didn't play at all? You traded for him and you practiced a little bit with him, but he didn't play the entire preseason.
No, he never played. He was hurt.
Yeah. He said, you got to either trade this guy, you got to do something to cut him, whatever.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense. He said, you just take the 40-year-old Flacco.
Yeah, that's who you
play.
Starter.
And when you see that, hey, he doesn't look right, either Dylan
or Shedeur
goes in there.
That's what I think you got to do.
And you see what you got from there.
Yeah,
you got two guys there. You might can play, play one. If they're not going too good, you go to the other one. And now you see what you got. You got to find out what you got.
Well, that's what I think.
I
think you're right. I think at the end of the day, they may trade Pickett because he's still got a rookie deal. Some team will trade for him.
And there's some teams they said they are interested.
And I'm sure there are.
Yeah,
we know this
because he does have a 15 and 10 record as a starter.
He played okay, I thought, with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Right.
So he can manage again. He got to get with the right team.
Right. Again, a guy that's got potential to be good, not a bust. He's got potential to be good.
Yep.
So you look at him and say, we can do something with him.
Right.
So he's valuable. And he's got the rookie contract still under that. And then you got the option, I think, to pick up a 5th year with him if he comes and plays good. Then you could get the 5th year of the contract, and then that way, especially if you trade for him, he gets to play and he's playing really good. You pick the 5th year up.
Yeah, and there's so much that's going on with all this stuff too.
Right.
And you hear the Eric Dickerson story. You read that, right?
Yeah, I heard that, and I think they LeVar Arrington. They were talking a lot about what Dickerson said, and I don't know if they were actually buying that. That's saying that. There were teams out there literally Dickerson said that don't draft Shedeur.
Yeah, well,
Dickerson was saying.
He says it's in a couple of executives.
But
he says I can't.
But he won't say who.
He don't want to tell who it is. His source. He said, but I'm telling you, they had it out there. We're going to teach them a lesson and not do it. And to a certain extent, I kind of believe that because I look at Colin Kaepernick. I'm not saying he was the height of anything, but he did take his team to the Super Bowl.
Got in there,
and
with Harbaugh as the coach.
And I look at the and you can't tell me this. I look around the league and look at these guys as horrible. And you're going to tell me this guy can't play in the NFL?
I know.
No, they didn't want him in there, and they did. It's definitely a collusion not to get him.
They actually paid him off.
Yeah,
collusion.
After a while,
they kind of admitted.
Yeah, they know they did it. They didn't want him back in the league.
They didn't want him, right? And they paid him, and they said, "Yeah, all right, he sued, and they paid him. They settled it."
Yeah,
and they just, like I said, I agree. Yeah. They did not want Kaepernick in the league. They just,
And people said that was just, maybe the kid handled it wrong. He got the wrong information on how to handle things. Shedeur, he said, but you don't go and punish a 22, 23-year-old kid coming out of college and say, you know what, I'm not going to draft him and do that. Why would you teach him a lesson?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
If you want to back off and don't take him to the 3rd, 2nd round, okay. But he said the rule was they was not going to draft him at all. And then somebody made a call, which make me wonder too, because it was just funny right after that.
conspiracy.
Yeah. Well, you had Trump. You had a couple people calling and saying, "Why isn't this guy drafted? This guy is great all over the place." Yeah. And then the next thing, about the next round, he got drafted.
I don't know. Oh, gosh.
What's going on?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, Trump was the one that came out and said, put Rose in the Hall of Fame. And then not even a week later, Commissioner Manfred comes out and says, yeah, we should make Pete eligible for the Hall of Fame. Whatever.
Yeah, this
unbelievable.
This world is jacked up.
It's crazy. But the thing with Shador, and I still think that if owners, I mean, sometimes you think, do people learn from mistakes and they just don't? Like, I still go back to Dan Marino.
Yeah.
How they thought he was doing drugs.
Yeah.
And even though they talked to his roommate, the roommate says no.
That Freilich, right?
Yeah, it was Freilich.
I think it was Bill Freilich. He said,
he said, no, I know this guy, room with him. He's fine. He's, but, no, he doesn't do drugs. And they talked to him before and they still wouldn't draft him. And you knew you should have been a top 5.
Oh, yeah.
And I still think, to this day, it's just like, you see a guy, him dropping the draft like that.
Especially in that draft. And the thing about it, I still think
all the quarterbacks they picked ahead of him.
And I'm thinking about, and some of them were good. Ken O'Brien, but he was
Ken
worried
O'Brien
that
was okay.
He was in the Jets, but he did do well enough with them.
No, he did. O'Brien was not a bad. He was actually a pretty good quarterback with the Jets.
Yeah,
he played good. He actually had a winning record against Marino. That came out in.
Yep, and he was the guy. But I just say, Pittsburgh, is one of the best organizations in the NFL, and
to draft him.
That's what made me really believe something was said.
Oh yeah,
because how you pass him up when you needed a quarterback, and that's all
Bradshaw
you was
on
missing.
Because Bradshaw was old.
Yeah, and I mean that's all
he was,
you needed.
13 years.
Yeah,
and to let him go and not knowing that Bradshaw wasn't going to last forever.
Yeah, and when his elbow would,
and then he blew the elbow out that year in that game against Denver. Mm-hmm. That was in the 30 for 30, and then Bradshaw was obviously never right after that, and he retired soon after. But it was just like you saw Marino play. I remember they interviewed in that 30 for 30 Ron Meyer, who was coaching New England at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they drafted that kid Champagne, Tony Eason, out of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And Ron Meyer was on, the late Ron Meyer. He went to Westerville South too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But he said in that piece, he goes, he was a coach. He had no say in the draft.
Right.
But he goes, I knew that Eason was just a guy. He was just like another quarterback out there. He goes, I saw Marino play. That's the guy we should have drafted.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I knew Marino was going to be a great player. But he goes, and then we drafted Tony Eason. He goes, Tony Eason was he was a college quarterback. He goes, he was just another guy.
Yeah.
He goes, Dan Marino was a player because you could tell.
Yeah.
There was a distinct difference.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's just that, but
they came up with everything. He had this. He had a great
Tony
Dorsett back there that made him look even. No, he was a great quarterback.
Bringing it back to this day and age, because I know we like to go off in history, but come back to this day and age. That's what I think they did with Shador. They talked themselves, for whatever reason, they talked them out of drafting him.
Yeah.
And I still, like I said, I thought he would probably go late first, early second round. I didn't know he'd be a top 5, but I kind of thought in the NFL, we've seen that happen where they've picked guys, Christian Ponder, Buffalo picked him in the first round. I knew he wasn't a first round pick.
Yeah.
But they were desperate.
Yeah, I forgot about him. What was his name?
Christian Ponder.
Or are you thinking about Johnson? Wrong? No, not him.
No.
A quarterback?
Quarterback.
I can't
Christian
remember.
Ponder.
I remember that name.
Christian Ponder. Here he is.
I remember that name.
He was Christian Ponder, was a quarterback out of Florida State. He went first round, number 12 overall. I'll never forget it. And I saw him play at Florida State.
And he was just another guy.
He wasn't the thing. What I couldn't believe he was an okay quarterback coming out of college. It wasn't like he was definitely not a first rounder.
And who was in you got that draft?
He was drafted in the 2011 draft
by Buffalo.
And I remember that. And when I heard that they drafted Christian Ponder, I go, why? I mean, he wasn't a first round pick.
Right.
He was drafted 12th overall. And
see, I thought the same thing with now he was better than Ponder, but I just thought he didn't have a lot of starts. What's his name? Johnson. Remember him at USC when they drafted him back in the day when they lost that Titans game with the Miracle in Tennessee. That's back to Steve.
The Miracle.
Remember Johnson?
Yeah.
He was the quarterback for Buffalo. Him and Flutie and all of them was there at the same time. And he came out of USC. He was a guy I thought, well, he shouldn't even came out.
No.
I thought he could have played an extra year.
He should have played another year.
And he was good, but I thought he just needed more seasoning. And he did decent, but Ponder was terrible. Ponder did start at Florida State, but I just didn't think he was good enough.
He wasn't that good.
Not to be a first rounder.
No. Cam Newton went number 1 in that pick. This is 2011. Von Miller was 2. Marcel Darius 3. A.J. Green 4 for Cincinnati. Patrick Peterson 5. Julio Jones 6. Aldon Smith for San Francisco. Okay. Tyron Smith for Dallas. That he was
all of them was good
right
there.
Okay, good. Blaine Gabbert went number 10 overall.
He was not, and he wasn't. And he went to what, Jacksonville?
He went to Jacksonville Jags out of Missouri. But then Ponder went number 12 to Minnesota from Florida State, and I watched him play, and I was like, he's not that good. Like, why would they draft him?
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't even like he just wasn't that good of a player. I didn't see
I didn't see no first round.
No.
That's for sure.
I thought maybe third or fourth,
yeah,
maybe.
I mean, yeah.
But this is the point: is you see a Shedeur go to the 5th round.
no
Clearly,
way.
Shedeur Sanders is better than Christian Ponder.
Way better than
a lot better.
And then the thing about it,
this is why this draft.
And it's so crazy because you never seen a guy that's pictured to go between 1 and 4.
No,
to get picked.
Right.
I mean, 1 through 4 in the first round.
Right.
To go all the way to the 5th round. So I know it's a part of what you said. People talked out. The other part, I still believe the conspiracy.
I think some kind of think.
Yeah, somebody was told something not to do it because that don't make any sense.
This guy was supposed to be. I thought Shedeur would drop to the 2nd round.
At the
worst, he should be a 2nd rounder. I don't think he should have dropped outside 2nd. No. But I said, maybe because these guys are a little leery, he would drop to the 2nd round. But the 5th round was totally too stupid.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what Dickerson is saying, because it's so crazy. I think it goes back to that gives it credence to what Dickerson is saying, that there are these GMs that obviously didn't want to draft him. But he played enough. This is the thing. He had all the other things in his favor. 70% completion. He had
the best in the history of college football.
And he basically had all the starts, 50 starts. So it's just like he had that. He had all the big things on the resume. And even Greg Cosell was before the draft had him like late 1st, early 2nd at worst. But I mean, he had him high.
Yeah.
And for the guy to drop all the way to the 5th,
that's why I believe part of that.
And
he said that they used Cleveland as a pawn. They told him, you better draft him.
Yeah.
And Cleveland drafted him. He said, and then you look at it, it really did make sense. You draft Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel a 3rd round. Why would you draft him in the 5th?
Yes, yeah. I mean, even though hasn't happened, we've seen RG3.
Right.
Another,
Well, you've seen. Look at Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Kirk Cousins was drafted with RG3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And Kirk Cousins ended up
weird though,
being a guy.
Yeah, that was just a weird thing. But I hope he makes it. I hope he makes it through.
I hope he's a Hall of Famer with his father.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Yep.
Put on the yellow. Shedeur has a yellow jacket in Canton. That would be great.
Yep.
I would love that. Saturday Morning Sports page back next week. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. Stay safe. Do not drink and do not drive. Western Reserve Radio.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia1 Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast.
Any occasion. Legacy Club Rooftop Cocktails. Reserve your spot today at circalasvegas.com.
Sean Green and Ryan Kramer bring an energetic approach to sports betting to keep you entertained while sweating your bets on the Sports Gambling Podcast live at VSiN.
There is something to the idea of the smart teams might be zagging. You see all the best offenses in the National Football League have a fullback. For receivers, if you're slow, a lot of teams just rule you out, I guess.
Yeah, that was what always held me back.
Join Sean and Ryan every Friday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on the Sports Gambling Podcast live at VSiN, right here on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Hour number 2, Ready, Set, Bet here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Brown and Mike Somich coming to you a little bit earlier today. Stick around. Tim Murray will join us a little bit later, live from Hawaii, and then him and Matt Humans will do their thing here on the network, getting you ready for week 0 in college football. Mike, have you been taking in any of the Little League World Series?
No, not really.
No. We had the American final today.
Highlights.
The reason I say this, the Vegas kids,
Summerlin,
Summerlin South over there, playing Connecticut today for the right to go and get throttled by whatever the whichever international team wins. That's basically what it is.
It's in the peripheral vision, right?
Yeah.
Like I know what's happening, but it's tough right now to watch it with all the football prep that we're doing and the horse racing stuff. So tough time of the year to be focused on Little League World Series, especially since I don't bet it. I know a lot of people do bet the Little League World Series. Is not something that I do.
No, you should not. No, it's not available at any place, any legal place. So you should not be betting it. You should not be doing it with your bookie. You should not be doing any of the stuff like that. Like, do not bet on 12-year-olds. Don't do that. I will say this though, Mike. It is interesting how good these teams are, because like the lead pitcher for all of the teams is almost unhittable, and then every team has like a second guy that's like really, really, really good, but he's not the number one guy, and like he gives up a little bit of something here and there, but mainly dominates the hitters. And once you get to the third arm, they just start knocking these kids all over the field. It's like, it's crazy. You get to like that third guy, the third pitcher, and then these kids just light up, and every single one of them's Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. Like, it's just like balls just flying all over the place. It's like the difference between the kid that's throwing like 75, 76, whatever, and you get to that kid that's throwing 64, and then it just it's a whole different game.
The managerial aspect of the Little League World Series underrated, because managing those pitchers and the innings, because there's innings limits, pitch limits, the whole deal, right? Being able to dodge the raindrops and make sure you got your 1 or your 2 on the hill for the majority of the series makes a huge difference for these guys.
It's so crazy. I mean, it's just like they're stepping in the bucket against these kids that throw hard. They're like, they just have nothing to do with them. And as soon as that kid comes up there throwing like 60, just launching them like left. Yeah, it's just left and right. It's so amazing.
Time, baby.
Yeah. All right, so we are going to start with 5,000 mythical dollars here, and we are going to bet every single win total that is currently available in the market out there. Give you the reasons behind all this. We'll start in the AFC North. It is the Ravens. It is currently 11.5, Mike. That is a lot of wins. You have to get to 12 games. You will have to be 12-5 if you want the over on this one. That said, not only are you going over, you are going over for a nice little hefty chunk here.
Yeah, so real quick how I did this. I've got 10 $250 bets, 10 $150 bets, and 12 $83 bets. Okay. So basically created 3 tiers of the win totals. And the Ravens was one of my over win totals here for 250. So this is one of my bigger win total plays here. I do like this Ravens team over. A lot of it is because I don't love the rest of this division. I think that the Browns are down. The Bengals aren't great. I've talked about them quite a bit. I don't know what to expect from the Steelers. And you do have some tough games, right? You've got at Chiefs. You're at the Bills. But they're going to be favorites in 15 games this year. Just the Chiefs and the Bills, probably the only 2 games they're dogs. I think this Ravens team is the most complete team in the NFL, and I think they're able to get over this. The regular season team I love, playoff team not so high on.
I went under for 150, and there's a couple different reasons for this. One, just 12 wins is a lot. Like getting to 12 wins is difficult in the NFL with all of the parity. And two, just the beginning of that schedule. Now, I could win and or lose this bet by week 7, essentially, because if they come out of that stretch in the first 6 games unscathed, then yeah, I'm donezo, absolutely dead. I think there's a chance, though, we could be looking at 2-4, 3-3, something like that coming out of that stretch. If we've talked ad nauseum here on this program about this early stretch for this team, but again, just to remind everyone that hasn't been with us, yes, there is the layup at the Browns in week 2, but outside of that, it is the Bills, Lions, Chiefs, Texans, Rams. All teams I like, all teams that are going to be good, and it's just tough in the NFL to win a bunch of games against that many tough teams in a row. So again, like I said, Mike, I could lose this because if they come out 5-1, then my under's dead.
Yeah, they're going to be 4-2 through that stretch. They'll steal one against the Bills or the Chiefs. They'll go 3-1 in the other games. Those 4 home games of those 6, right? I think that is important to note because they are a very good home team.
The next team is the Browns. 5.5 is the current number that is hung out there. We both went under, not for a lot in this one. I'm a little worried that they're going with their best option at quarterback. I think this is a stupid move, but this organization seems to be just stupid at this point. Flacco could stumble into some wins. That's why I can't do anything, towards the. I wanted to put more money on fading this Browns team. I can't do it because Flacco there is at least a floor. There's no ceiling, but there's at least a floor.
Yeah, this is the combination of the price and the fact that this number is so low at -150, which is the current available price that we're using. I didn't want to go crazy on the under here because I do think there's talent on the defensive side of the ball. And would I be shocked if they stumble into 5 wins and maybe the Dolphins stink and the Jets stink and the Titans stink and the Bears stink? Like there's a world here where they have just some sloppy games, and we know how it is playing those home games late in the season as well in Cleveland. Anything can happen. So I played the under here, but just for 83. This was one of my bottom 12.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I wanted to fade this team more than it is, but they're going to play the best guy at quarterback, and I think that's ridiculous, but that's the way that they're going to do it. Cincinnati Bengals, 9.5 wins. I knew we were going to be on the opposite side here of this one. You were going the under. You hate Cincinnati. God, you can't stand Joe Burrow's success. You can't stand Jamar Chase. You hate this team so much.
Great fantasy team. Terrible defense, and the Hendrickson thing isn't getting any better for him. I played the under for 150 here, so I took plus 125. I think the thing isn't getting any better for him. I played the under for 150 here, so I took plus 125. I think it was. What was the number? I'm sorry, minus 115 on the under for the Bengals here for 150. So second tier bet for me here. I just don't like the defense, Matt. And this isn't an easy schedule, and there are some frisky teams on here. They've got that stretch, Ravens, Bills, Ravens. That's not good. I think the Cardinals are better. This is a team where I don't trust the defense to be able to stop anybody, and it's hard to win shootout after shootout after shootout.
Yeah, I went over, and I only did it for 100. I think that Burrow is going to outscore some teams and win games in that fashion, and we're only talking 10. We're talking 10-7. And they're going to be better than a lot of teams that they play. And I think that they steal one, like I said, against a team that's probably better than them, just because Burrow and Chase go for, 330 and 175 to Chase and 2 touchdowns or something like that. And so I chalk it up 2 wins against the Browns. I don't like the Steelers. Chalk it up 2 wins against the Steelers. Now we're already halfway there. I'm going over here, but it was only for $100. It was not for, I'm not completely convinced this Hendrickson thing is big and all of this. Seems like they have something worked out with him. They're just arguing over guaranteed money, I guess, at this point is what it seems like. But he's not out on the field, so I can't like buy in completely yet.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. But they might beat a team they shouldn't. They will lose to a team they shouldn't lose to as well because of that defense.
Steelers 8.5 wins on this one. We're both going under. Anybody that's listening to my commentary, I'm not going to just assume that Aaron Rodgers steps in and is the savior of this Steelers team. I don't know if he's got anything left in the tank. He is a 41-year-old dude coming off of an injury. In this division, if you look, you love the Ravens. I seem to like Cincinnati better than you do. And like I said, the Browns are at least going to, for the time being, go with their best option at quarterback. And they're not completely devoid of talent in Cleveland either. I'm going under, and I made it for 150.
Yeah, I went under for 83. I have three unders and one over in this division, and that's why I didn't put more on the under here, because I don't want to play three unders and have two of them be bigger. The numbers don't number there.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Yeah, it's one of those things for me. This Steelers team, I could be proven wrong. Tomlin obviously is a good coach, and Aaron Rodgers, who knows? Maybe he turns back the hands of time, and he's just
that's the
good.
thing. Look, if Aaron Rodgers last year's coming off an ACL. There's a world where he's not MVP level, but where he's good. And I will say one positive for the Steelers. I haven't heard anything from Aaron Rodgers. That's a good thing. I have not seen him on McAfee. I've not seen him doing podcasts. We're not hearing about his waka whatever retreats. Like he is laying low. I think that is a positive for this Pittsburgh team. I don't want him in the news.
Yeah, it's a deal too. They didn't play him in the preseason, so the first time we see him will be under center in week 1. So, well, your guess is as good as ours as to what he's going to look like and everything with that. Let's head to the AFC East. Dolphins at 7.5. I knew that this was going to be a max play for you. Honestly, there is no team that you are more down on, I think, than the Dolphins.
There is not. Well, yeah, compared to the market, yes. This is a team that I don't like the schedule. They're playing out in the cold late. It's a mess right now during training camp. Everything's going wrong for them. I think Mike McDonald is a very good chance of being first coach fired here. This is it's a mess. It's a train wreck, and I don't trust Tua to stay healthy. And we don't know what we're going to get from Tyreek Hill. I give me under Dolphins 7.5 for 250.
Yeah, I went under for 200 here on this Dolphin squad, and a lot of the reasons why is everything that we've heard is basically just bad coming out of this camp. I mean, literally, we've not gotten any good news coming out of this one at all. Coach is on the hot seat. All you hear about is that, and this is beat writers, and this is like pump up season, right? Like everyone looks better. Tyreek Hill stuff not good. The defense getting just torched left and right in practice. Like there's not been very much good stuff coming out there. So I took the under for 200 as well on this team. What about the Jets at 6.5 wins?
I went the under here because, and I was actually planning on going over, and then I looked at their schedule. This is a brutal schedule for them. I mean, it's Pittsburgh, Buffalo,